последнее время в открытый доступ все больше просачивается информация об утечках с Украины оружия, которое туда поставляется западными странами. Как вы считаете, возможно ли попадание серьезных образцов вооружения в руки радикальных террористических групп, например, исламского типа? И следующий вопрос в этом же направлении. Вызовет ли факт такого попадания такого оружия в руки террористов резонанс на Западе? Или это будет скандал, который потухнет через несколько дней?
This is a scandal that's already resonating in the West, here in the United States especially. Recent reports came out about American on-site inspectors, military personnel traveling to Ukraine to do an accounting of the weapons that we have provided to Ukraine, in particular the Javelin missiles, the Stinger anti-air missiles, small arms, weapons that are readily transportable by people and therefore conducive to being sent out over into the black market. One of the interesting aspects of this is the term that was used by the United States, on-site inspector. That's a specific term. I know. I was an on-site inspector. I helped write the book about on-site inspections. And there's a certain forensic quality to it. This isn't just an auditor. It's coming in and reviewing a checklist of material. This is somebody who's seeking to forensically reconstruct evidence to show how something was used. Was it used in combat? How was it disposed of? Did it malfunction? What happened to it after the malfunction? Was it returned to the warehouse? Was it abandoned on the battlefield? Was it captured by Russian forces? They're trying to get an understanding of what happened to this equipment. And it's not just a theoretical concern. German officials have already arrested somebody in Germany with a Stinger missile in the back of their car. That Stinger missile was sent by the United States to Ukraine. So it's already gone through the black market. And where there's one, there's more. And it will explode exponentially the moment any of those weapons are used in Europe or anywhere in the world to kill politicians, to kill civilians and airliners. So it's the potential of this happening, the real potential, and I won't even say potential, it's the probability that this is going to happen. This will happen. But this, we can almost be certain.
You sure?
These weapons in the hands of bad people will be used. They always are. So this isn't a hypothetical. So the question is, how do we mitigate the political damage? And so it's very important that politicians be seen as doing everything they can to rectify the situation, or at least to be shown that they're doing something. And that's what these troops are doing. They're on the ground not to attack Russia, not to facilitate logistical supply, but to account for weapons so they can report to Congress, so they can tell Congress that everything that can be done is being done to account for these weapons. This is a political game, a political process. And it's more important now than almost ever. Look, the United States made a huge mistake. Back in May, Rand Paul, the senator from Kentucky, stood up and said, if we're going to give Ukraine $40+ billion worth of military assistance, should we not have an inspector general who oversees this so we can say what happened to the money we gave them, what happened to the weapons we gave them? And Congress said no. They voted him down. But now Congress is confronting the fact that their negligence back in May has real world ramifications, that people may die because of this. And that would be the end of a political career. And I don't know about other politicians around the world, but American politicians exist for one thing and one thing only, and it's not to serve their country. It's to get reelected. That's it. And this kind of scandal stops people from getting reelected. Congress between now and January is what we call a lame duck session. they have no power. I mean, they can still vote for laws, etc., but this Congress will lose its political power come January when a new political party takes over. The president, Joe Biden, is probably going to try and get this lame duck session to approve an additional $40 to $60 billion in assistance to Ukraine. $40 to $60 billion. Now, normally Congress has shown a proclivity to vote in favor of this. But now Congress has to answer the question, when we provide Ukraine with this money, how do we know that it's not being used or abused, misused, and instead being diverted for criminal purposes? How do we know this? And that's what these on-site inspectors are supposed to answer. That we now have investigated this, and we have this problem under control. But we don't have it under control. How do you control the most corrupt nation on the planet? Ukraine was always corrupt. But now during a time of war, where all pretense of law and order have gone out the window, where the criminals have taken over everything, when the tens of billions of dollars that the United States and NATO are providing is going into the pockets of politicians, the pockets of senior military men, not necessarily to the front line, we can't be in control of that situation. The only way you can control Ukraine is to get rid of the corruption. And right now, the only way to get rid of the corruption is for Russia to have a complete victory. Because otherwise, if Ukraine somehow survives this, all we've done is empower some of the most corrupt people on the planet. And they will continue to sell the weapons we provided them on the black market to make money. That's just the reality of corrupt regimes.